All right, the word wavering or waver, okay, it says here, a person's faith be irresolute, right? Show indecision, okay? Probably from a Scandinavian word related to Old English wafer, restless, okay, wavering, okay. So let's dig a little bit more. All right, what does it mean to be irresolute? Excuse me. It says not firm in purpose. Okay. So you want to be firm in your purpose, right? Wavering given to doubt or hesitation. All right. So you're not supposed to doubt, you're not supposed to hesitate. You're supposed to ask and stay firm within your, whatever you want from the Lord, because it's open. It's open for us to, ask. Because at one point, when we prayed, the Lord wasn't hearing it. But now the Lord is hearing it. He's hearing our cries because He's opened it up. That door is open. The doors of mercy is open. Okay. So we take advantage of it, but in our taking advantage, we stand firm on what we're asking. We don't, you know, go to the left or the right. We don't doubt and think, oh, the Lord ain't gonna, He ain't gonna do what I ask, or, what I'm saying? No, you're supposed to believe that He will do what you ask. Okay, wholeheartedly. All right, going back to James. All right, James 1:8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Right, so you don't want to be a double-minded man. All right, the NLT says their loyalty is divided between God and the world. So there you go. All right, you don't want your loyalty to be teetering on the fence. You want to believe in this thing in Yahweh Shem Shai holy. You don't want to be in doubt. Oh, this ain't gonna happen, because you living in a world where you can't possibly think that these things can come to pass. Well, He promised. Whatever you ask, if you ask for knowledge, He's the giver of knowledge. All wisdom cometh from the Lord. Okay, and He gives it liberally. All right, He's not gonna curse us and or, and to say to hell with that. All right, so you got to believe without any doubt. All right, their loyalty is divided between God and the world. All right, and they are unstable in everything they do. You see, so you don't want to be unstable. You don't want to be. You want to fully believe. All right. So here, let me see, Jeremiah, and then I'm gonna come back. Well, no, I can read this. Mark 11 and all right. So like Mark 11 and 23. It says, "For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith." You see, and the Lord will reward you. All right, as long as you're not in doubt. All right, or you're teetering between what can be and what that doubt. All right, so Jeremiah, see 29 and 12, and it reads, it says, "Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart." Okay. The NLT says wholeheartedly. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. Right. So it's wholeheartedly. It's not half-hearted. It's not half-assed. Okay. If you ask, with the intent, all right, of receiving that and keeping that same energy, keeping that same mind, right, without doubt, right, you're going to receive what you ask for, right, and you will be found of you, and I will be found of you, said the Lord Yahweh, and I will return away your captivity and will gather you from all the nations. Right. Ain't that's what we want? That's exactly what we want. We're not just going out there to say, prophesying to look cute. The captive exile hastening to be loosed. Right? Ain't this hell? Ain't you? And we're tired of it.
Okay. So the Lord said, if we cry unto him, we was going to answer us. Okay. And we have that open to us. Okay. It says, and from all these, the places whither I have driven you, said the Lord Yahweh, I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. So the Lord promised it, and we believe in his promise. All right. Plain and simple. Okay. And that's why you shouldn't, don't waver. All right. Don't second guess it. Right. Acts 10 and 20. Right. Acts 10 and 20, it says, arise therefore and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing. Right. And this is when Cornelius, all right, Peter, excuse me, golly. This is when Peter had the vision, all right, and which is actually a very good example, okay, because when we get visions, those visions that we get from the Lord, all right, we shouldn't doubt, okay. I remember having a lot of visions, and none of them I doubted, none of them. Still to this day, that's what holds me, you know. The Lord showed me, and I believe it, and I believe it with confidence. Okay. So in this case, Peter had a vision, all right, and the Lord told him to go meet Cornelius, all right, which he was the first Israelite foreigner, all right, to be brought into the fold, okay, and said, behold, it says, for I have sent them. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man and one that feareth God, and of good report among all the nations of the Jews. Nation of the Jews was warned from God by an holy angel to send for thee into his house. See them men moving on faith, all right, not hesitating, going with what the Lord told them to do, all right, believing, okay, and to hear words of thee, all right. So they were moved, all right, by the Spirit, and they believed. They didn't hesitate. Okay. So that was like a last minute one. But okay, going back to James 1 and 9, it says, let the brother of low degree rejoice that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass, he shall pass away. Okay. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Right. So because what? The poor is honored of God. All right. The poor is honored of God. And the Lord is always with those of a contrite spirit. So let the rich man rejoice that he is made low. So if you were rich or you're well off, or you have abundance, right? And if you lose that abundance, all right, with your mind towards God, right? That's a good thing. With you suffering for righteousness' sake, and you taking up your cross, you're calling on the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's a good thing. You want to be lowly, okay? Because you you don't you want to be satisfied with just serving the Lord, man. Okay? Because many people, they need this world to fulfill that void. We need the Lord to fulfill our void. All right, moving on. James 1 and 2. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to him, or promised to them that love him. Right? Okay. So blessed is the man that endureth temptation. Right. Blessed is the man, because that goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the last video. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, because your faith, your suffering worketh patience, and patience endurance, and you grow with that. You're growing with that. Okay. So precepts I got for that is Job 5.
Job 5:17. It reads, Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not the behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. For he maketh sore and bindeth up, he wounded, and his hands make whole. All right. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Okay. Because it's all about you growing, you being refined. All right. That's why the correction is there. Okay. That's why the trial is there. All right. And we have to think of it as such and nothing more than that. Okay. And once you start thinking other things, that's when you start to lose yourself, because the Lord ain't mentioned none of those other things. You know, he's not trying to hurt you. He's trying to grow your spirit. He's trying to grow you. Okay. So always look at temptation as an opportunity to grow, and, of course, suffering, but enduring. All right. With your mind towards the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shah. Okay. Luke 6:22. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Okay. Right. All right. Because in reality, you need that. Okay. Otherwise, you wouldn't be walking in Yahweh Shai. Otherwise, you wouldn't, face the things that he faced. And if you're not facing the things that he faced, then you're not going to receive the reward that he received. To be begotten of the Heavenly Father. We want to be begotten sons as well. We want to be joint heirs, right? So Hebrews 10:36, it says, For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. There you go. Okay. All right. All right. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and he will not tarry. Yeah. So, and this is just, this is our light affliction. Okay. And we have to endure for some time. And I know brothers are like, man, damn, how much more longer, And we have yet gotten to the real test, And that real test is going to be that hour of temptation, where, Jacob is going to be in trouble. It's going to be Jacob's trouble. Okay. Esau coming down with great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. Him bringing in troops, him declaring us terrorists and things of that nature, and whatever, we're going to have to go to, it's going to be fight or flight.